Hello and welcome to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. I'm Jonathan Bartlett, and we have a bonus episode for you today. While I was at the Homeschool Track and Field National Championship last week, I managed to catch up with NOAH Jags football coach, Coach Smokey, and interviewed him about the NOAH football program. All right, so I'm here with Coach Smokey from the NOAH Jags. First of all, just tell us a little bit about your program.
Yeah, NOAH football is a part of the NOAH organization. We have such a big umbrella of sports underneath all of our organization, and football being one of them. And our football program is a very competitive football program for the homeschool nation, but we also play a lot of public schools and private schools in the state of Oklahoma. Yeah, our football program is a competitive football program in the homeschool world, but we also play a bunch of public schools and private schools in Oklahoma. And for the most part, we're really competitive with all the teams that we play with. We desire to build Christian character into our football program in every element, even our practice schedule, having a word of the day, little sermonette at the end of every practice, praying for one another. We've seen kids give their life to Christ. We've seen kids get baptized. And so our program is much more than just football, but when it comes down to the football, we desire to do that with excellence, to really push and challenge these kids to grow in their understanding of the game. Football program, homeschool, you have to travel a lot. And so we have a lot of games out of state. Our end of the season tournament is in Panama City, Florida, where we play 2 games guaranteed against other homeschool teams to see who's going to be the national championship. And as a program, we've had God's blessing to win that at least once and be competitive most every year.
That's awesome. So what did you rank last year?
I want to say we finished top 4, but to be honest, I don't know if it was 3 or 4.
Gotcha. So what were the highlights of the season last year?
Highlights of the season last year was to take an extremely young team. I think we had literally 4 to 5 guys that were significant starters the year before starting on this season last year. And so all these young players coming up, growing and maturing on the fly. You know, it's a lot of fun. Football is a fast-paced sport. And so seeing these young men develop into a football unit quickly throughout the season. So seeing young players contribute, seeing these other guys that weren't normally starters in the years past become starters, significant reps, and just really growing the sport and growing our team.
Awesome. So what's the team's biggest strength?
Our biggest strength, one, is homeschooling. Homeschooling's the win, all right? Yeah. There's a lot of hardships that come with homeschool football. We don't have our own facilities. We don't have a lot of things that a public school would have. But the number one thing that is strength is the fact that we as parents get to have a lot of flexibility and freedom in investing into our kids. But as a football program, it carries over into that as well, is that our strength is we want to coach on excellence. We want to coach the game. God allowed me to have a blessing of being able to play college athletics, college football. And so having that back knowledge to invest in these kids is such a benefit. But more than that, the biggest strength is to invest the character of Christ into everything that we do in football and really see them grow. Athletically, our kids are developing and growing and maturing. It's not the traditional old school 1980s mentality of homeschool where they're not very athletic. And that wasn't even true then either. It was just the stereotypical caricatures that people portrayed about homeschool athletics. And so we're competitive. This year our strength would be much more of our skilled positions. We're thin on the offense and defensive line. And so we've got a lot of athletic kids, a lot of fast kids that want to have a little fight in them and be competitive.
So now you had a special game at the beginning of last season. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so they've started. It's not brand new, but we have just gotten into National Homeschool Association Classic Kickoff, and they play in a professional NFL team stadium. So last year we were able to play our very first game against another homeschool opponent in Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
Dallas Cowboy Stadium. AT&T Stadium.
Yeah. The goal,
awesome.
The real benefit for us is we had more wins in Dallas Cowboy Stadium than Dallas for half the season. And so we felt like we were a pretty big dog. It was such a huge opportunity and blessing for our program to be able to go to that field, compete, and the very next day we have a service project. Johnny Erickson Tata, an amazing godly woman who had broken her neck and had just been faithful to Christ her whole life and has this ministry. There's a direct connection to my wife and how my wife went into becoming an occupational therapist. So we kind of partnered with them and served children, youth with special needs, with disabilities, and let them have some football experiences. But it was a huge blessing. This year, that game is in Indianapolis, and we just thought it wasn't the wisest decision to jump in it for this year, but next year it's back in Dallas, and the goal is to connect Tim Tebow and his homeschool background to this, and so it's supposed to be a big part next year, and so we put a lot more investment into being a part of it in the next football season, not this upcoming season. So hopefully we'll be back in Dallas playing in that stadium again.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. I can't imagine. I played football in high school, and I can't imagine how awesome it would be to run out onto the field of Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
It's a huge blessing for those kids that may never ever experience that again.
Yeah, and also the Cowboys media team was part of that too, weren't they?
I'm not for sure if it was their media team or a professional media team that came in, but they did a phenomenal job. Just running the game, running all the media behind it, and it was done really, really well.
Yeah, you can find the game up on YouTube
still.
Yeah, and it looks like a pro game.
Yeah,
it is. It's pretty amazing.
It was fun. Kids got a lot of highlight reels out of that.
Yes. So what's your favorite thing about homeschool athletics?
I would say it's the flexibility that we get to have unapologetically invest Christ-centered principles, biblical beliefs into these young athletes, that we do not have to worry about tippy-toeing around some of these subjects. We want to be unapologetic and investing that into these kids. It's a lot of fun to yell and scream for a kid, celebrate a kid, and see them develop and mature in their walk with Christ beyond just the football field. I mean, you got a little over 1.2 million high school athletes. That's going to be narrowed down to about 88,000 college athletes. That's narrowed down to about less than 4,000 NFL athletes. So the likelihood that any of these kids are able to stand on an NFL team, in a roster, in a uniform, is very slim. The reality is every single one of them will stand before Christ someday. Yeah. And we want to pour the hope of Jesus Christ far above anything that has to do with athletics. And so that's what, to me, I've given my life to. Mm-hmm. I thought I wanted to coach college football, playing college ball, loved the sport, wanted to study the sport, enjoyed it. After a couple of years of playing college football, I thought, I don't want to coach this. So it's not about just coaching. Yeah. Coaching's fun, and I enjoy that. But it really is much more about investing the Word of God, the Spirit of God into these young men's life.
Awesome. Well, if someone wants to join the team next season, what should they do?
Yeah, we actually start spring ball quickly. This Friday coming up would be May 9th. We start spring ball, and that's a great blessing for kids to come out. So the website's NOAHJags.org. You find the football links. You can find the registration. I'm pretty confident. I looked at it actually yesterday. All that information, our calendar for spring, for summer, for fall is already listed on there. There's some registration. How you get involved is right there. If you can't make the spring ball, you can still sign up and step out there. Don't quote me on this, but it's August 1st, give or take. That's close to the start of every season. And so you can come out and be a part of that. Reach out to our head coach, Coach James Ballinger. His information's on the website at NOAHJags.org. And we're looking to really grow. This year we've got a really big senior class and 2 small classes after that, and a potential good large freshman class. And so this year I have a senior and a freshman, so those two get to play football together for the first time in their life.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for talking with me today.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thank you for listening to the Homeschool Oklahoma podcast. Homeschool Oklahoma is an organization dedicated to promoting, protecting, encouraging, and equipping homeschool families across the state. Please sign up for our newsletter at hsok.org. If you would like to further help our cause of maintaining homeschooling freedoms in Oklahoma, we hope that you will consider joining with a paid membership as well. Thank you for listening.